Here we are in Portugal in Tondela. Lovely sunny day after a short break from our previous race. We're here in qualifying. It's a twisty all-round track, this one. Ericsson goes fastest. Wei Lang is in second, interestingly. Labriola top three. Here we go for their second lap. Ericsson's going to take first. Labriola second. Martti Paisinen pulls out a third there. That is impressive work by Cecilia Labriola and by Britta Pallison. In fact, Brixton Islanders looking quite impressive in this later stage of the season. Let's see how things pan out in the race itself. We will watch the run down to the sharp left-hander. Ericsson gets a terrible start. Labriola takes the lead. Pallison has probably jumped the start, maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. Ericsson's going backwards. Labriola has taken first. Paisinen and Nasser battling for second. No off so far. Labriola is under threat from Nasser. She manages to keep it. No more incidents, I think. Pallison in third. Brixton Islanders have had a wonderful start. It remains to be seen. She is under investigation. It remains to be seen whether she'll lock up throughout the field. Pallison's been acquitted, so she's back down in sixth because she's locked up. But it's still a great start for Brixton Islanders here in Portugal. She's just been mugged for seventh by Hate Singh as well. Chelsea Lajasi had an awful start, along with Naomi Klein. Suggestions they may have collided there somewhere. Matti Paisinen and Georgios Kontos both under investigation as well. Ramirez having to pit meanwhile. I'm not entirely sure why. I think there might have been some contact, or maybe her car's just already broken again. Who knows? Paisinen's still under... What happened to Labriola? I missed that. I think she might have... Yeah, she might have locked up or run wide. This now means that Nusrat Nasser is leading the race. Havana Eriksson second. Right behind her on her tail is Martti Paisinen. Aiden Wei Lang in fourth place. 16 Almas, the highest of our medium-tired runners today. So far, at least. Freya Larsen is up into 7th. Up into 6th, make that, in fact. Great move on Hate Singh. Opportunistic. And it's backed him up right into Labriola as well. So he's going to have to fight to defend his position. But a really good race so far for Spin Diesel. I saw a car in green into the pits. It looked like Naomi Klein, I think it was. Drive-through penalty for Martti Paisinen. And there were lockups. And was that Nasser going wide? It was. Nasser's gone wide. Ericsson takes the lead. Paisinen in second. Ericsson, for all intents and purposes, a far first ahead of Aiden Wei Lang, because Paisinen's going to have to come in and serve that drive-through. 16 Almas will also be extremely happy with how things are going. Her rivals ahead of her are picking her off one by one here, or picking themselves off rather one by one. And with 23 laps to go, there's all to play for. There's a good old battle going on here between Labriola, Larsen and Hate Singh. And in fact, I think that's Nusrat Nasser behind them. Larsen going around the, defending around the outside as Ericsson goes fastest. Oh, Larsen locks up a little bit. That drive-through for Paisinen has put him down to 14th, which is suboptimal. Cecilia Labriola in 4th, Larsen 5th, Hate Singh 6th, and Lucas Schweitzer, not Nasser, in 7th. At the moment, Ericsson, a 6-second lead here for Havana Ericsson. She's putting daylight between herself and Aiden Wei Lang in second. Naomi Klein has spun out. Almas ran wide there. Wei Lang also apparently locked up and went wide as well. So just more time. I mean, the interesting thing is here is the championship implications, because Barnes and Lucas caught down in the middle of no man's land, which would put Hate Singh 10 points clear at the top if it stayed like this. But Barnes and Lucas on hards and mediums, respectively, or Lucas, I mean Barnes isn't anywhere near the top, but Lucas is on mediums. So we'll see how he, whether they swap the cars. I wouldn't be surprised if they swap the cars and let Lucas churn through as much as possible, but they are at the end of a long, you can see here, the end of a long kind of snake of cars. It has not been a good day for Boyko, Shag and Bunch today. I think they've just been well off the pace for whatever reason. Hate Singh, meanwhile, coming in. I think we'll also be having Labriola in. Is that Ramirez whose car is on fire? It is. Oh dear. I see we're having another one of those races for Sofia Ramirez. Labriola onto those medium tyres. Hate Singh gone onto hards, meanwhile. Interesting choice. I wonder whether it's a good... Well, I guess he's just hoping for... that rain is not likely, but I guess he's just hoping for no sprinklers for the next few laps at least. I mean, ideally for Hate Singh, it would start raining at a lap around, I don't know, lap 18 or something like that, when he's getting ready to switch over those hards. It would be a disaster if it started raining, well, if it started pseudo-raining within the next couple of laps for him, I think. Havana Ericsson into the pits. Aiden Beilang, who's looked after his soft tyres extremely well, takes first. 16 Almas through into second place as well, as Ericsson goes on to a new set of mediums there in fifth place, and battling for fourth. In fact, she's close, but there's those tyres are not yet warmed up, so she's going to have to get some heat into them. She's battling with Veronique Morel. Oh, she's just going to try a look around the inside. Morel's doing a great job defensively, but she's left a gap, and Ericsson gets past. But here comes Morel again. She's not going to give it up that easily, but Ericsson says no thank you. No thank you, and closes that door on her. Vanna Ericsson, who I think the conspiracy theory about them taking all of the breakable parts out of her car and putting them all into Ramirez's might be real. Judging by the way that her car has been running extremely solidly for the last couple of races, and Sofia Ramirez has just been an absolute travesty. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but it is what it is for Team McLaren, I suppose, in that regard. 16 Almas is in the lead. I imagine she'll make it another couple of laps on those mediums before she switches off to a fresh set of whatever they will be. There we go. There's the team orders, meanwhile. They let Lucas overtake Barnes, and he's up into 7th. He'll probably last another couple of laps on those mediums as well, which is, as it stands, of course, he would go 6 points clear of Hate Singh. So changeable, the on-track action. Oh, 16 Almas goes fastest, a blistering lap. 1:39. Lucas has been unleashed here, actually. He's making his way up to the back of Georgios Kontos on these medium tyres. And he's really seeing whether he can make a move, but it's all gonna be a bit, well, he's old enough and wise enough now that he knows that trying to make yeah, there we go, trying to make too much of a move before he pits at the end of this lap would be a little bit foolish, but if Kontos leaves a gap that big, he will take it. A gap so big, in fact, that not just Lucas, but Veilang got past as well. Veilang, in fact, on those fresher tyres, gets past Lucas as well. There is the carnage of Sofia Ramirez's car. It has not been a fun back half of the season for her, and into the pits go Lucas, Kontos, and of course Ramirez again. See whether she can break 20 this time. That would be fun. Let's head back to the front of the race. Ericsson, 7 seconds ahead of Veronique Morel on those hard tyres. Aiden Veilang lapping extremely well, actually. He's on a slightly different kind of strategy timing to the rest of the kind of front runners here. He's on these relatively fresh hards. And actually, so is Ericsson. She's on a slightly different strategy as well, because she's on the mediums and has stopped sooner. So it remains to be seen exactly how this one will pan out, and indeed whether we'll get any of that sprinkler carnage that has been marking this season. We're gonna just speed things up here a little bit. We'll again stay live. No reason to not. But we'll follow people round. Let's watch 16 Almas as she battles with, I believe that's Aaron Barnes, in fact, who just went into the pits. Just ahead of Cecilia Labriola. Oh, Lachase's crashed! Chelsea Lachase's crashed! There going to be any kind of safety car? There isn't. That's not good for Maple Street Motorsports Challenge for the championship, the team's championship. No real difference for the drivers, as meanwhile Lucas had pitted along with Barnes, which has put them both back behind Hate Singh. Labriola, meanwhile, also pitting. She will no doubt... Yeah, there goes Hate Singh, there goes Nasser, and Schweitzer, and Pallison, and Morel, and De Toro, and Tarasova. She's going to come out alongside Zach Lucas and lose out to him. Although, look at that! She got blocked off a little bit, but she nearly came straight back at him on those fresh medium tyres. Lucas on his mediums, a couple of laps old. He went for the outside. It was the wrong move. Labriola snuck up the inside as Tarasova was defending from him. Tarasova on harder tyres. Havana Eriksson setting the fastest lap, meanwhile, with 2 average sectors and 1 absolutely blistering Sector 3. Labriola, not Labriola, sorry. Yeah, it is Labriola. I don't know what I'm talking about. Labriola and Tarasova here, locked in battle. Lucas watching, waiting, seeing whether there'll be an opportunity. But it seems not. He's going to have to wait and see. With teammate Aaron Barnes just behind him. Labriola might have the drive in that corner. She got a good one out of it. They're side by side. Labriola inching ahead through the next thing. She's managed to make it stick. And now Lucas is alongside. He's seen his opportunity. He's going to probably try and dive to the inside and then outside, but... Tarasova says no thank you. Activates the ERS boost. Tell you what, that Ericsson just set another fastest lap. Again, 2 average first sectors and then a blistering third one to set fastest lap. That McLaren car is absolutely lightning through this sector we're going through now, in fact. Lucas still trying to set up a move on Tarasova. Barnes getting involved now as well. There we go, he's made it stick. Tarasova had to cover off the inside move from Barnes, and Lucas got it down around the outside. Then Barnes followed him. Vanna Eriksson is lapping absolutely spectacularly in the meantime. Just set a fastest sector 2. We'll go and watch her. If she said a fastest sector 2, she's going in for a bit. Never mind. Let's head back to the action over here. Tarasova battling with Aaron Barnes. She managed to get past him. Who's that behind them? That Freya Larson? It is. Barnes manages to get back past Larson side by side with him. She's going into the pits at the end of the lap. Aiden Beilang sets the fastest lap. Tarasova is... that's a great move, actually, up the inside. Relegates Barnes to 14th as Larson goes into the pits. We're beginning to get some pit stops again. Eriksson stopped to put on mediums. Now it's going to be something of a shootout here. I wonder, Wei Lang will surely have to stop. Eriksson will hope that she's got enough fuel and tyre wear to get to the end of the race, and she'll also hope that there's not going to be any sprinklers here. Wei Lang currently 5 seconds back. She's catching him actually quite quickly. We just speed things up a little bit and see how that gap falls. It's now 5 seconds dead. Now under 5, 4.8. And falling slowly but surely. Eriksson is hunting down. Oh, in fact, never mind. He was losing enough time that the team went, no, that's enough, and pulled him in. 2-stroke 2 Furious, opting for discretion over valor there. Sensibly, especially because at this stage of the season, especially with them in 3rd and 4th, they are really looking to consolidate their lead at the top of the team's championships. They don't want to be risking anything. They know that they almost certainly can't win the Drivers' Championship unless something... Well, theoretically they could, but it's less likely than consolidating the top of the team's championships. And that way, if they want to be sensible, they can maybe hope and wait and see whether one of the front runners drops out or makes some kind of strategy mistake. So a clever choice, I think. Sensible. from 2-stroke 2 Furious. 16 Alma's in second. She'll be happy with how our race is going. Zach Lucas is up into 5th. He's currently in the pits though, and now dropping. Hate Singh looks like he's got his strategy more right than Lucas has. He's down in 15th, but there's 5 laps remaining and a lot to play for. Hate Singh on those hard tyres has actually played it pretty well, I think, the Maple Street Motorsports team. We'll stay with him and speed things up a bit so that we can see how things play out a bit. Because 16 Alma's in the pits and out of the pits in 3rd place. Good splitting the two Fast 2 Furious cars there. As we see, Sofia Ramirez still lapping, 15 stops. Don't think she's going to get to 20, unfortunately. What a shame. As we go round, we'll have to... Oh, there's a spate of pit stops here. That's promoted a few... Yeah, people going onto softs. That's promoted Lucas to 9th. He'll probably want to try and... Well, it's a tall order trying to get past Morel from here. She is on fresher tyres, but she is locked in a bit of a duel with Lucas Schweitzer for 7th position. If he can pick up one or both of those positions, Lucas would be very happy indeed. But he needs to do it cautiously. A crash here would be the worst possible outcome for him. Let's stay with these 3 here as Lucas makes his way up to the back. Vanna Eriksson setting fastest sector 2. Meanwhile, oh, she's going for a move. Morel drifts to the inside, has a look. The door is closed quite firmly by Lucas Schweitzer. As we can see, Havana Eriksson sets the fastest lap. Meanwhile, 1:38.3. That is the first 1:38 we've had all race. So a long way, in fact, ahead. Lucas has a significant degree of ERS harvested, but so does Morel. Notably, Schweitzer doesn't. So we'll see whether they use it or save it for the blast down to the line. Drivers do tend to like using that on towards the start-finish straight on the last lap. Eriksson, meanwhile, with a couple of laps remaining. Eriksson now 14-ish seconds ahead, or 13.5. That gap is dropping all of a sudden. What's happening here? Oh no! Eriksson's car! Oh, Lucas is retired! Oh no! Oh! It's all gone wrong suddenly! All of a sudden, what's happening? So Eriksson's into the pits to get some repairs. Lucas is retired? That is the worst thing that could happen. Eriksson going to be out in soft, so she'll retain 2nd place, probably, at least. So, it could be worse for McLaren. It wasn't good, but it could have been worse. Lucas is retired, which is going to give Hate Singh a huge lead in the championship. Aiden Veilang's going to win, but looks, as it stands, with Havana Eriksson now 5 seconds back. 16 Alma's in 3rd, and Hate Singh quite happy in 4th. Got a reliable car, Maple Street Motorsports. Whenever it comes through, it seems to be in good nick. They rarely outright retire for anything that isn't driver error. We'll watch the last lap here from Aiden Veilang's perspective. This is the final lap, 2-stroke 2 Furious. Having had a great race, actually. They used Morel as a great little tactical tool. And they released Veilang with some good tyre strategy. And he's now cruising to a win. Eriksson will be a little bittersweet with this result, I think. 2nd place. She was leading for much of the race, but considering how things have gone for her with car reliability in the past, it's, you know, it is what it is, really. 2nd place will be quite happy. She'll be looking to push her way up the table. In fact, she'll be 8th now, as it stands. As Aiden Veilang rounds the last corner, he comes through to win. Eriksson comes around in 2nd. 16 Alma's in 3rd. Hate Singh in 4th. Britta Pallison. Why is Nusrat Nasser going? Oh, he's out of fuel. So is Totoro. Britta Pallison overtakes Nasser. Schweitzer and Morel do too. Hate Singh is out of fuel. Hate Singh's out of fuel. He's been overtaken for 5th. Is he going to go for 6th as well? Is there going to be a 7th? He's going to be all the way down here. Oh, he's out of fuel. A terrible tactical blunder by Maple Street Motorsports. Hate Singh finishes 7th. There was a golden opportunity to basically tie up the championship, and yet they've lost it and given some points to Morel, who is now his closest competitor. Well, that's some late drama for this race. Really late drama. I don't think anyone quite expected that to happen. And here's the scrutineering. We don't have any changes here. Havana Eriksson gets fastest lap, so she actually gets more points than our winner, Aiden Velang. She'll be quite happy with that. Well, Hate Singh had a chance to end up with 0 changes entirely. He goes top of the championship, but he will be ruining that missed opportunity. Only 8 points ahead of Veronique Morel, 10 ahead of Zach Lucas, and 12 ahead of Aiden Velang. 2-stroke 2 Furious all but got the championship, or the team's championship, tied up now with only 2 more tracks remaining. Our next race will be Silverstone. See you then.